Hi folks, um, this is the second of my songwriting videos. Um, if this is the first time that you're seeing me, then you probably want to go to my first video, which is called Song Formula, What Formula, um, which briefly goes into uh, how inspiration comes around and how I can harness ideas that will eventually become songs. So again, I want to keep this one quite brief, but what I want to do in this one, and I'll just recap briefly over the first video that I did, and to show you how we can put the initial idea of what I had previously and create a rhythm and a tempo and a little bit of a melody in order to get this going as some kind of a song idea and to make it a bit more coherent. So to briefly just go over what I did in the last video, I have this approach where I'm a casual observer or a kind of let's say a visual but casual observer. It's maybe a little bit of a contradiction in terms, but you'll get the gist of where I'm going with this after more videos and everything. So basically, I keep a sort of a background antennae going for whatever ideas float into into my mind from things that I see around me. Now, the song idea that I used in the last video came about whilst I was walking down the street and I saw a girl and she had written on her t-shirt, "No rain, no rainbow." So basically, this idea spoke to me and I thought it carries a lot more within it, information-wise, than what is actually in the slogan itself, within the logo itself. So what I mean by that is that no rain, no rainbow, no high without any low. I thought there's a philosophy in here. There's a philosophy within the idea. Anyway, I won't go too much into that just now, but you'll see where I kind of went with the initial idea and what I wrote down, how it sparked something of interest. So, excuse me. So what I wrote down when I got home was, if you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow. If you don't have any dark, there is no light. Without any dirt, you can't grow flowers. Before you come back down to earth, you have to climb. So I initially had this idea of opposites and balance in life, a philosophy, no high, no low. You get the picture. So go back to the first video to kind of get more information on that. And basically what I want to do in this video is I want to show you how we can get a rhythm from the words that I initially wrote down. So within themselves, the words will create a natural tempo and a natural rhythm as you speak them. So we've got, if you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow. If you don't have any dark, there is no light. So immediately you can find where they fall. Now, to me, it creates something of a slow tempo, and you want to be as natural as this as possible, and maybe not force them, not push them into a rhythm, but actually find where they fall as a rhythm. So I can feel this as, if you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow. And just speak them to start with. If you don't have any dark, there is no light. Without any dirt, you can't grow flowers. So immediately you've got a tempo of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So those lines, they fit into the normal pop rock tempo of 4/4, which many songs are written, and they fit really nicely as it happens. So if you have lines that fall nicely and they fit, all the better. If you have lines that you've written down that don't fit, or they're awkward, so you've got maybe one awkward word within the actual phrase that makes the tempo uneasy and unnatural, you can either you can change the feel of the song, or more preferably you can actually just change the word and find a word that is similar. There will be something out there which will work. We'll go into that a little bit more later, but what we can do from this is, because we've now got our natural rhythm, if you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow, 2, 3, 4, we can now try to create some music from that and just see where it goes. So let's get the guitar. Something I want to just say really briefly, another rabbit hole that I don't want to go too far down just now, is that the words and the emotions that you may try to portray in a song, it's good to maybe paint them in the emotions of the chords. What I mean by that is, say for instance for the first line, if you don't have any rain, rain could be seen as sad or lowly or something of that description, and rainbow can be seen as happy. So this is kind of basic stuff. So for a sad chord, you could maybe reach for an an A minor, and for rainbow, let's see where we go with it. So we've got an initial chord. So if you don't, and you can count the tempo within the chords. So what I mean by that is just strike them within the tempo. So do them as you're counting them. So if you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, your chords could go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you don't have any rain, there is, and you can feel a change maybe there. So we'll go for a D major. If you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow. So immediately you've got some chords, and you've got your phrasing and your tempo, which fits actually quite nicely. So from there, we could look at seeing what sort of melody that the chords actually bring up. So if you're going to be singing these songs yourself, you might want to find where your voice works best and what key. So you might, if A minor might be too high or too low for you, so you might want to find the chords that actually suits the key of your voice, so that you're able to physically sing them and be able to put the emotion that you need into them. Because I'm a strong believer in getting out exactly what is in your head and using your instincts to do that. So that's how you get better, and that's how you expand your knowledge of melody and how you expand your knowledge of singing. So instead of A minor, you might go to G minor instead. For instance. So let's stick with what we've got here now, just for basic purposes. So we've got the sad chord of A minor. So a melody that comes to me from there, and the more you sit down and do this as well, the more that melodies will come to you, that you'll get more into practice, and melodies will come out more instinctively. So If, let me see, what's coming to me is in my head is, if you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow. Happy chord. If you don't have any dark, there is no light. So I've gone for naturally A minor to D major to G major to E minor. So if that doesn't feel right, or you're not happy with it, then experiment with your chords. A little bit of chord knowledge is a really good thing, even as a beginner. I think I only, when I first started writing, I might have only had maybe 6 or 7 chords. But the thing is that millions of songs have been written on 2, 3, 4, 5 chords, and they don't deviate from the basic chords. Some songs, you know, some people have a whole career of just using basic chords, and there's nothing wrong with that. We'll get more into chords and what you can do with them and how to expand your knowledge that way in a later video. But I just want to keep this really brief. So, but what you can do is, if you think, oh, the E minor, it's too much of a resolution, or it actually lands on a sad chord, and you might want to just kind of make it a little bit more different. So you could go, if you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow. If you don't have any dark, there is no light. We've gone for a B minor there. It's still a fairly sad chord, but it does change the actual atmosphere of it, and it opens up more doors to where you can go next as well. So we can use that as a basic example for now, because I can actually hear another chord. So the more you get into practice of using different chords, different melodies, they open up new doors and new avenues of melodies and where you can go with them, and resolutions to songs and sections, and more about that because this is a beginner's video for now. So we've basically got that. If you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow. If you don't have any dark, there is no light. And we can have a C. Without any dirt, you can't grow flowers. Back to the first chord of A minor. Before you come back to earth, you have to climb. Then you can go to the E minor. So you've got a section in there. It maybe only takes one chord to change the whole thing around and to create another avenue of an emotion, of a melody, of a section. So I'm going to leave this here for now, but just a couple of little tips that I just want to share about to get good at being a songwriter. It's really handy, and I find that listening to as much good music as possible, whether it be pop, rock, soul, jazz, reggae, country music, etc., etc., you find that these influences get soaked up subliminally and sometimes without you knowing it in your own playing. And I found this a lot after doing this for a few years. So, you know, for instance, you know, for that same idea, instead of it being just very straight, you'll end up experimenting with various different rhythms and styles, maybe, you know. So that could, from that idea being this, which is fine, you might think, I can really hear something else within this. And So you could be, if you don't have any rain, there is no rainbow. If you don't have any dark, there is no light. So listening to lots of music and keeping this vigilance as an observer, because song ideas can come from many different sources, which I speak about in my first video. And so I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to wish you a good day. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will answer them as best I can. And if you like this video, give me a like and a subscribe, and I will quite happily continue making more videos as we go along. So have a really nice day and take care, and I will see you all soon. Cheers. Bye bye now.